of the week for you?
Yeah, I'll take the alley-oop from you any day, Paul, and slam dunk for the Florida Gators. I think it speaks for themselves. They have the win at Alabama now in hand as of Wednesday night. The two biggest games on their schedule, they won them both at Auburn, at Alabama. It sets their resume apart, just from a sheer individual win standpoint. They're also sitting there with only 4 losses. And it's a very nice resume, very nice, clean one-seed resume. It helps separate them from Alabama as well. It also delivered Alabama their 7th loss of the year. So they have, although Alabama's done a ton in winning, they've taken on those 7 losses. It's 3 more losses than Florida has now. And they obviously woke up feeling very good about their chances to get a 1 seed. They have to finish. We'll talk about that more. They finished with Ole Miss, but I think if they get that win at home in the Swamp on Senior Day, they should be sitting pretty on Selection Sunday. And then for BYU, to me, they keep doing the unthinkable. At first, it was like, oh, BYU can't go to McHale and win. Well, they did. Then it was like, there's no way BYU can go to Hilton Magic and win. Well, guess what, folks? The Cougars did it again. And now they've gone from a team not even in the field or barely even discussed because they really hadn't beat anybody, by late January, to being not only in the field, but now they have some really amazing wins to go with it, especially away from home. So congrats to the Cougars. They just keep going. They just keep climbing faster than probably anybody. And then I would also say Texas A&M, kind of obvious, but they had that losing streak going. No better way to stop the bleeding than doing it against the number 1 team in the country. Texas A&M takes pride in bringing a football game to the basketball court. And I don't blame Auburn for really not wanting a big part of that. Plus, Auburn got dinged up themselves. We saw Broome get nicked up in that game, and Denver Jones was questionable that night. So, yeah, good win. Either way, it doesn't matter at the end of the day in bracketology. Texas A&M has a win over Auburn now, and now they're back in that hunt for trying to work their way back to the top of the 3 and maybe into the 2s.
Yeah, what BYU has done lately, if you look at where BYU was on January 18th after that loss to Utah in overtime, and they're sitting there at 11-6, they're 2-4 in the Big 12, and you're thinking, all right, this is a bubble team at best. Are they going to be able to put some wins together here? And now all of a sudden, BYU hasn't lost since February 8th. Kansas, Arizona, Iowa State wins all mixed in there. They have not only gotten themselves off the bubble, and I know we'll talk more about BYU here coming up in the show, but just while we're mentioning it, BYU has quickly gotten up there. 6 seed, 5 seed, that they're racing up the leaderboard.
Can
they get that high?
I don't know if they're quite. They're not quite there yet. They still have losing quad 1 record at 5-7, but they've got a winning record on the road now, which they never had before. I think you can give BYU a hard time for a 309 non-conference strength of schedule, but I would also caution against that because non-conference strength of schedule is taken into account in both the strength of resume and the wins above bubble and the net itself. So you definitely don't want to double count having a poor schedule out of conference. So those are the things working against them. But the things they have are road wins at Iowa State, at Arizona, at West Virginia. That trio of road wins in this part of the bracket really stands out.
Lucas, your biggest